When do you want me to start? Ready?
Now.
Okay. When I'm able to take over a space, I'm able to see my main two concepts collide, childhood innocence and beauty standards. I'm able to further understand why I make work about these topics and why I feel it is important to display my work in such an organized, meticulous, chaotic way. Growing up, my parents created a very safe and loving environment for me to be myself and encouraged me to always express myself. At a young age, I grew very attached to my toys and other objects I declared important. As years passed, this obsession with collecting certain objects continued. I've collected toys, used crayons, and beauty magazines that represent the transition from childhood to adulthood. I brought some, if not all, my childhood collection from Miami, Tallahassee, many of which you see here in my piece. Since for me these objects carry such high value, I set up my work purposely to prevent viewers from getting too close. I feel the viewer will still be able to inhabit this space successfully. I'm aware that because my installation is chaotically detailed, not all of my pieces will be understood. Overlapping certain things can cause confusion on the overall feel I want my installation to have. I section things off so certain viewers can enjoy certain pieces at a time, or the viewer can stand back and try to understand the piece as a whole. Just like a room is a reflection of oneself and can be a very personal space. Since childhood is something I am more comfortable with, this is seen at first glance when looking at my installation. Since beauty standards are something I personally struggle to understand, this can seem more hidden when looking at my installation. I believe when you're a child, you're your truest, honest form of yourself. As you grow up, you start to develop a filter and think before you speak out loud. Becoming a teenager is never an easy transition. You start to lose your individuality as you try to fit in with other teens your age. I feel if society takes a childhood approach to understanding beauty standards, we will find ourselves surprised with the outcome. If we, as a society, are true to ourselves and focus more on feeling beautiful instead of constantly comparing ourselves to each other, we can live in a much more honest and safe space. Realizing that beauty is ever-changing can be a great start for someone that may be closed-minded when it comes to viewing beauty standards in this way. Most of my collage work focuses on beauty magazines and altering images that come from these magazines to propose a new question. So over here, let's talk about this now. Knowing I wanted to use beauty magazines in my exiting show, I brainstormed to find a way to make these collages more 3D, more in your face. I wanted to collage about beauty on forms that reminded me of safety, comfort, and new life. By collaging on 3D surfaces, I'm able to give weight and perspective to these beauty magazines. The spheres can suggest a pregnant belly, a form of shelter, or even a helmet or weapon to protect oneself from danger. Changing magazines to the original form can make the imagery more relatable and more real. The big sphere you see on the ground is covered with faces of many different looking women, different shapes, colors, and even different levels of fame. This sphere is meant to symbolize that together we are strongest. Instead of comparing each other and trying to be identical, we should embrace and respect each other's beautiful differences. Further exploring beauty, I started to view high heels, as blank canvases. I place the shoes in the center, laid out in a specific manner so the viewer sees the shoes from right to left, also has a bird's-eye view of the shoes. The shoes represent where I have been and where I plan on going, and I choose certain materials to represent my past self and my future self. At first glance, my piece comes off as colorful and inviting. But looking closer, depending on what stage of life you're in, for example, a child, young adult, or a senior citizen, you start to see the hidden messages within my installation. If you are still in the mindset of a child or an actual child, you may easily miss the presence of my struggle with beauty. Or you may simply just be distracted by all the nostalgic materials you see. I tend to keep myself in the mindset I had during my childhood. Attempting to solve my adult problems by channeling that childhood mindset, I further explore these topics through the lens of a child. Anxious yet excited about moving forward in life, I refuse to ever let go of my childhood innocence. I now realize that this puts me at an advantage, not a disadvantage. The only regret I have from my childhood is never listening to my mother when she said, "Don't grow up too fast." I now look forward to becoming an elementary school art teacher, giving me permission to be a child forever. And that's it.